The stage was set for this season's first head-to-head duel between Chet Holmgren and Victor Wembanyama, except Wemby only put up 5 shot attempts in a career-low 6-point performance, and instead of a battle between two unicorns, this game was about OKC's seemingly perfect team defense. They opened the night with Jalen Williams matched up against Victor and Chet on Jeremy Sochan, and the idea is to turn Chet into a free safety, roaming the floor and blowing up plays like this, as he already happens to be one of the best rim protectors in the NBA. This strategy isn't just meant to unlock Chet though. By having a smaller player on Victor, in this case Lu Dort, they can use their lower center of gravity to play physical and push him out to the perimeter, making it a lot tougher for him to get touches in the middle of the floor. Then when the Spurs had Sochan set a ball screen for Wemby, forcing Chet into the action, the Thunder just switched. And now you're left with a perimeter isolation against the best equipped defender, not exactly the best source of offense. However, there is still an advantage to having Chet on the ball. OKC doesn't start a traditional secondary rim protector, so if a bigger forward like Sochan is able to establish inside position, he won't have much trouble scoring. And on the other hand, the big offensive advantage with having a smaller guy on Wemby is that if he's able to step inside the paint, there's virtually nothing they can do to stop him from getting easy lobs or cleaning the glass. So in order for this strategy to work, they need that wing to hold Wemby outside of the paint. If he can't get the ball where he wants, the offense is forced to go elsewhere, and that's a lot easier to shut down. On this one, the Spurs clear the middle of the floor for Wemby to post up Cason Wallace. Quick reminder that Cason's 6'3", more than a foot shorter, but by getting into his lower body and pushing him out, the catch happens about 17 feet away from the basket. Wemby makes the right read on a sharp kickout to Chris Paul, who's unable to knock down the jumper. When Caruso checked into the game, it was the exact same thing. Notice how physical he is, fighting for position, not giving up any passing angle, and again, it's only once he leaves the paint that he's able to get a clean catch. This time Wiggins comes with a double, Wemby continues to make the right read, but Stephon Castle too misses a quality look. They just simply wouldn't let Wemby touch the ball anywhere near the basket. Caruso's getting into his lower body, fronting the entry pass, and the Spurs basically had no choice but to use him as a decoy, looking for offense on the weak side. To start quarter number 2 though, Coach Pop cooked up some counters. They started using Wemby as a screener, to which OKC of course responded by just switching, and keep in mind you still have an S-tier rim protector in Chet roaming on the backline. Another adjustment the Spurs made was, instead of trying to get Wemby the ball in the middle, they started clearing aside and posting him up on the block. But like I said, those wings were not letting him establish position. In the event that he did get position, that's when they'd send an immediate double off the catch, forcing him to make tough decisions as a passer. And let's be clear, Victor's capable of making some really nice passes. This time he skips it cross court to an open Keldon Johnson, who attempts to attack a closeout, only to find out why Lu Dort has the reputation he does. So Wemby couldn't touch the ball near the basket. When he did, he was seeing multiple bodies, and his teammates couldn't produce any results. Pop had to find a way to get him some shots, which meant using him like a 7'4" point guard. At least this way he can threaten the defense as a shooter, apply some downhill pressure, and this time when he kicks it out to Paul, the veteran makes the defense pay. Here's one that starts with Wemby receiving a handoff in the corner, and OKC messes up their switch, so he's left with a lane to attack and draws a foul. That takes us to halftime, where San Antonio may have been trailing by 15, with only 6 points from their star, but it felt like they may have figured something out down the stretch of that second quarter. Now it was time for the Thunder to counter-adjust though, and their second half defense may have been the best we've seen from any team this season. They're still putting a wing on Victor, doing everything they can to not let him touch the ball in the middle, and when the ball gets moved to Sochan for an isolation, Chet is more than capable of shutting that off. Like I said though, the Spurs were leaning more into a guard-like approach for Wemby. This time it's a ball screen, Sochan slips the switch, only for Chet to drop from the corner and blow up the pass. Just about every single touch from Victor in this second half was behind the three-point line with a wing in his grill, and he continued to make good reads as a playmaker while his teammates continued to misfire on quality opportunities. Take this play for example. Wemby's used as a screener, OKC switches, and Caruso immediately gets low so that he can push into Wemby's core and prevent him from touching the paint. This time Paul tries a pull-up three, but to no avail. If Wemby wanted the ball, he had to play from out in space, and because of his unique skill set, that's a possibility, but by virtue of being 7'4", the handle's just gonna be loose, and against a team with personnel like the Thunder, that's gonna result in a lot of turnovers, especially when being met with this sort of physicality. J-Dub picks him up from 30 feet out, doesn't give him an inch of space, and is agile enough to cut off all of his angles, although he does get called for a foul here. But that's how you end up with a stat line like the one Victor Wembanyama put up in this game. After a 6-point first half, he didn't attempt a single shot in the second. He shot just 1 of 5 from the field, 0 of 3 from 3, with 2 assists and 4 turnovers. Although I will say that those assist numbers definitely don't do him justice, and he created a lot of opportunities that his teammates just couldn't capitalize on. Still, this pretty easily felt like the worst offensive game I've seen him play, and it was a complete defensive masterclass from the Thunder. The way their wings fought for position and forced him to catch the ball out in space. The way they executed switches and rotations behind the play to not give up any lanes. And the way they had a counter for all of Coach Pop's adjustments is a testament to how ridiculously good this team truly is. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn my post notifications on to be first on more content. If you're interested in my more in-depth research, make sure to check out the Hoop Venue podcast and my social media profiles. You can find those links in the description. Feel free to let me know down in the comments what you thought of this game. As always, I hope you all have a great day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.